Congresswoman Balint, welcome back to the Sunday Show. Your reaction to Speaker Johnson not only defending Trump at his criminal trial, but also attacking the criminal justice system.
Oh, it's disgusting, Jonathan. And as you said, we shouldn't be surprised, but I think we all imagine that there will be eventually some bottom. Clearly, we're wrong every time. They just go lower and lower. And as you said, you know, it's shocking to have the Speaker of the House going down to, the courthouse in Manhattan to interfere with a criminal trial. One that is involving election interference, as you said. Yes, it's a porn star hush money trial, but it's also election interference. And to see him there reminds all of us that really he isn't standing for democracy. He isn't standing for the American people. He's standing for one man. This should scare all of us. He is one of the many apologists and enablers that I serve with in Congress right now. And you're right. He is dangerous.
Now, you voted to table Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene's motion to vacate Speaker Johnson from the chair earlier this month. But after you voted to save him, Johnson still went ahead to push messaging bills meant to drive wedges among Democrats and jam them up with voters, including the bill to rebuke President Biden for pausing an arms shipment to Israel. If Speaker Johnson faces another effort to oust him from the position, should he expect your help, Democrats' help, to save him again?
No, he shouldn't expect that. The problem that we have, Jonathan, I think you know, is that there is nobody else in the wings within the Republican conference who currently has the votes to get elected. The Republicans are not willing to enter in a power sharing agreement. So what does that mean? It means another few weeks of utter chaos and dysfunction. We have, real legislation to pass, and we have already wasted so much time this session, not just with chaos and dysfunction, but with ridiculous bills like freedom for refrigerators, those kinds of things. And we, I think, stood strongly against the motion to vacate, specifically, too, because it involved Marjorie Taylor Greene, who is a conflict entrepreneur, and there are never any consequences for her behavior. We saw that certainly this week again. And so for me, my vote to table was a rebuke of Marjorie Taylor Greene and the lengths to which she goes to disrupt the work that we're doing or trying to do on behalf of the American people. This is a woman who's brought pornography into her committee. She screams at the president from the well of the House. She wears campaign materials into the House chamber, all violations of House rules. And what does Johnson do? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. So we should expect that if it comes to another vote to see if we will continue with him as Speaker, he will not have my support.
David Kirkpatrick of The New Yorker asked Speaker Johnson how he would respond if Trump contested the 2024 election results and whether he would again urge Republicans to reject electors if he deemed the state's voting process constitutionally defective. Johnson replied that he would, quote, follow the Constitution. And as David Kirkpatrick points out in that piece, following the Constitution really depends on what the speaker supports. So do you believe him? Do you believe Speaker Johnson when he says he will follow the Constitution when it comes to the legitimacy of the 2024 election?
It's certainly very hard to believe him, given that he also says that he follows the Bible and the teachings of, his savior, as he has said, Jesus Christ. The fact that he made that a cornerstone, not just of his speech when he became Speaker, but we have had to listen to his preaching on other occasions. So, no, it's very difficult to believe somebody who is showing up at an election interference trial that involves a porn star and hush money. How can we possibly believe him and take him at his word? It is, as I said, absolutely frightening to serve alongside these apologists and enablers who clearly are not there to work on behalf of the American people. They're there to serve one man, and that is the former President Donald Trump. We've seen this before. This is incredibly dangerous.
Well, and this is my last question for you, Congresswoman, but it gets to what you're just saying, because Speaker Johnson also told Kirkpatrick of The New Yorker that a second Trump term would be like the first, but, quote, on turbo. adding, quote, "I think we're going to be right off to the races." And therein lies the danger, right? Johnson would be a Trump enabler and would use Trump to further his own far-right goals.
Absolutely. And so as a gay American myself, this deeply frightens me. It frightens me for all the women across this country who are demanding their reproductive rights back, for all the people on the margins. This is not somebody that we can trust to follow the Constitution or, frankly, to follow his own so-called morality.
Congresswoman Becca Balint, as a gay American, I am right there with you, sister. Congresswoman Becca Balint of Vermont, thank you as always for coming to the Sunday Show.